Can y'all hear me? And it should be like a little chat thing, little comment box. Make sure y'all can hear me. Hey, I can see you, but I know I got you muted. Can you hear me? Okay. As long as you can hear me, you can definitely unmute yourself if you want to speak or something, but right now I think it's cool.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. I'm thinking I'm gonna start the class at like 3:05, 3:10, yeah, something like that.
I think that works.
This is nice right here. Stop. Oh. Yeah. What's going on, Fifi? What's going on? Whenever you come up in the classroom, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Whenever you come in, your sound is going to be muted. But you can unmute it if you want to ask a question or whatever. But for right now, y'all can leave it muted. We're going to get started around like 3:10, 3:05, 3:10. We see how I feel. All right, family. We're going to go ahead and get started. Those of you that have your screen muted, hopefully, I'm new to the Zoom, you feel me? So if I can't see your screen, hopefully you can still see my screen, I'm assuming. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get it started. And today I'm going to teach from a PowerPoint presentation that I got put together. And the reason why I want to have this class today is because if you follow along on some of the channels that I teach on already, like Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, we have already discussed the 7 laws of the universe, but I've discussed them kind of briefly and kind of gave a summary of each of them. And today I'm going to give like a part 2 of the summary, but essentially I'm gearing everybody up to start going to my Patreon page to get the full in-depth lessons and lectures that I'll be doing. So for instance, the 7 laws of the universe, like today we're going to go through the overview and really connect some tangible tools to the 7 laws of the universe and the 7 chakras. But when you go to the Patreon page, you'll be able to get videos on each law individually. It won't be, all 14 of them together and it's kind of like an overview or a summary. It'll be more in-depth and more detailed. But without further ado, family, let's get started. I'm hyped. I'm real excited. I'm big excited for this. Excuse me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. All right, Fee, so I'm going to have you confirm real quick for me. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. And it say, Understanding the 7 laws of the universe. Right on. All right. All right, family. Hold on. Let me open that back up. Okay. Okay, cool. Pull that over to the side right there. Correct one. Living. Cool. All right. So understanding the 7 universe laws. All right, family. So I like to express this is like, yo, if you play Uno with somebody and that other person never knew the instruction of Uno and they kept losing, and he'd be like, bro, let me just tell you the instructions so you can win. You might win, I don't know, but let me tell you. This is what this is. The 7 laws of the universe are these 7 instructions that everybody should have learned. These laws should be ingrained in us, but I don't feel like we know enough, so I feel like it's overlooked. So let's just jump into that mud right there. All right. I have to move this on. Okay. So the format for really taking in this information and putting it to use is going to be knowledge of self and knowledge of wisdom. And those are going to be the 2 ideas that we're really going to look at. Looking here at the screen, our greatest and most difficult job is to understand the creator within the creation. So what is your big picture? How do you fit into the grand scheme of things? That for me is truly the knowledge of self. And to make sure that I kind of continue to help you on your journey, I'm going to make sure that this PowerPoint lecture is available to you all. I'll send it directly to your email, but it will be available on social media and on the Patreon page. And what we also want to begin to do is knowledge of wisdom, right? We are normally given a lot of information, and that's kind of what we deduce as knowledge. Like, yo, just because I know something, that means I'm smart or I'm intelligent. And that's not really true. It's kind of like, what do you deduce? Like, how do you deduce your own wisdom from the information that you have? So I want everybody to be sure to take notes throughout this class, as this information is not provided as the know-all, end-all, and be-all of the universe and the chakra study. Please, by all means, question. What I'm giving you, don't take everything that I say and just run with it. Do your own research and see how it makes sense to you. And as I speak, I'm definitely going to ask different questions just to kind of get your brain to going and just kind of thinking. And remember to keep an open mind, be ready to ask questions, and know that love is the way. Sauce it up with some love in the mud, you know what I'm saying? And so, again, the replay of this presentation is going to be available at gurujichastity.com. And so when we go to the Patreon is going to be live tomorrow, but the lecture, the non-class lecture of Understanding the 7 laws of the universe, which I'll take every single law and go through them individually, and that'll be a class by itself. That is going to consist of 9 classes, and they will be released weekly on the Patreon page. And you can find that page by going to www.patreon.com/Guruji Chastity. All right, family. And so just a little bit about myself, my purpose, I'm here to teach. And I feel like that's what we're doing right now, teach and learn and grow together. And you can find me on all social media. And I'm mainly on Instagram and Facebook at Guruji Chastity. Or you can send me an email at gurujichastity@gmail.com. I love to chit chat, so go on and holler at me. Boom. All right, let's get into it. The 7 universe laws, all right? Now, this a quote, for me in my brain. This, the great work of both the creator and man is a merger of the created and the creator. I am on a fervent mission to figure out why I exist for the creator and why the creator exists for me. And I think we are taught to kind of break that connection between what does me and the creator have going on, and it's like, how do I serve this world instead? And so that's kind of what that quote means to me. And I want everybody to kind of bring that to the forefront of their mind in terms of just kind of bringing purpose and your own goals and dreams to fruition and manifestation. I have found that learning these 7 laws have helped me create Guruji Chastity and really see myself in my proper person. All right, boom. So let's get an overview of the 7 laws themselves. The first law is mentalism. The all is mine. The first law of the universe is that the all is mine. The second law of the universe is correspondence. As above, so below. The third law of the universe is going to be vibration. No thing is at rest, right? Everything is always in constant motion. The fourth law of the universe is going to be polarity, which is going to be positive and negative. The fifth law of the universe is going to be the balance of positive and negative, which is rhythm, right? Rhythm, the balance of positive and negative. The sixth law of the universe is going to be cause and effect, which is seeing past the illusion. And the seventh law of the universe is gender, which means all is one. And I hope that we come to understand is that there is but one law of the universe, and that is oneness. But for man to understand their actual reality, the universe had to split that one law into 7 so we can see the whole thing. Because down here in this dimension, we can't just grasp the concept of one and then be able to understand it. We have to have, scientific theory, and we have to have the instructions and the rules and the laws, and it has to be broken down for us into such a way that it's manifested like this. And that's why these same 7 laws are represented in our body. I'm moving on to the next slide. And so these are the main concepts. So those 7 laws appear to us in this diagram of man. The first law of the universe is going to be this red circle, which is representative of the root chakra. The first law of the universe is mentalism, which is represented by this red circle. The second law of the universe is correspondence, which is represented by the orange circle. The third law of the universe is going to be vibration, which is represented by the yellow circle. The fourth law of the universe is going to be polarity, which is represented by the green circle. The fifth law of the universe is going to be rhythm, which is represented by the blue circle. The sixth law of the universe is going to be cause and effect, and that's represented by the purple circle. And the seventh law of the universe is going to be gender, and that's represented by, the actual color is white, but of course it wouldn't show up here, so it's represented as gray. And so these colors are typically known to us as either the rainbow or the chakra system. And those 7 laws of the universe are literally like, this is a diagram, or as I like to call it, a quantum equation of how those same 7 laws of the universe manifest in our body, right? So let's begin to really dive into the correlations, right? And let me make sure everybody is in here. Give me 1 second. Make sure we got everybody together, you guys. All right. All right, Trinity, I got you in here in the class. We already kind of started just a little bit, but give me a thumbs up, love, if you can hear me. Right on. All right. All right, so when we're looking, let me go back 1 second, family. Went too far. All right. So now we're looking at we're beginning to look at the correlation between those first 7 laws of the universe that I went over, and then how that manifests in the human body. So the first law of the universe, which is mentalism, is correlated to our root chakra. The law of correspondence is correlated to our sacral chakra. The law of vibration correlates to our solar plexus. The law of polarity connects to our heart chakra. The law of rhythm connects to our third eye. The law of cause and effect is connected to our throat chakra. And the law of gender is connected to our crown chakra, right? So we're still going to get in depth about how all of this makes sense. And I really hope to blow y'all cap to where you can be like, oh, snap. Because 9 times out of 10, most of us know the basic information about how the chakras are locked, but we don't know the understanding or have the exact tools to unlock them, because those tools, I feel like, reside in knowing how the universe itself is created. So boom, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And this is why I love to use quantum equations that are simply just pictures and images. The 7 laws of the universe are represented in these images right here, family. So if we begin to just kind of relate entire concepts to images, you can use the image here and just bring to the forefront of your mind everything you know about that information and kind of take it in that way, because it's a lot easier to associate images with concepts instead of trying to use long drawn out words all the time. And that is because our subconscious mind stores every piece of information, every piece of data that we ever go through. And think about how much data your subconscious mind can capture in just an image, instead of trying to read, 50 or 100 words to get an idea inside. So when we're looking at this image here, it goes from the top to the bottom. So the first law of the universe, being mentalism, is represented by the brain. The second, correspondence, is going to be represented by this black circle and the white circle. And then vibration, you see here is the dot, and you kind of see the waves going out. The fourth law is going to be polarity. That should bring forth to your mind, the yin and yang. What we kind of correlate is good and bad, positive and negative. And then you're going to have, this one is a little bit out of order, but we have the fourth chakra, which is going to be represented by the yin and yang, so that black and white symbol. And then we're going to skip one and go to those dots, these 4 to 5 dots here, and that's going to be the rhythm symbol, right? And then we're going to go down, and then you see the line with the 2 arrows going in. That is going to be cause and effect. And then of course we have the symbols here that represent male and female, which represent gender, and that is going to be the 7th law of the universe. Forgive me, family, that's a little bit out of order, but you get the concept and what I'm trying to present here. So begin to correlate images with concepts, and that way you can take in way more information. All right, so boom. Let's really see how we can make this tangible in our existence. And let me just double check, make sure I got everybody in here. We're not waiting anybody. You're not holding anybody up. All right. Everybody, y'all good? Anybody I can see, give me a thumbs up. Y'all good? You good, Fee? Right on. All right, boom. So look, the first law of the universe, which is mentalism, the all is mine. And so if we can understand the concept that the all is mine, it helps us to understand the substantial reality that we live in, which is everything that we see, which manifests before our eyes. We call it spirit, right? Spirit is another thing, or another way to say intelligence, right? But when we break down how that relates to us in our everyday lives, we begin to see, well, if I identify that the all is mine, right? And everything that is manifested outwardly is nothing more than spirit itself, right? Just manifesting before my eyes. I would then have to understand the concept that the universe is nothing more than a mental creation for the all, right? I'm being created in the mind of the all, because the all itself is mind, right? So when we say spirit, when we say God, whatever we want to call it, we begin to understand that that's intelligence, and that intelligence is all around us, all within us, because it's intelligence itself. So if I know that the first rule of the game is intelligence is key, right? nothing exists in this dimension without intelligence, I will begin to see nothing exists in my reality without intelligence. So then I will begin to question, well, what am I creating with my own thoughts? If it's nothing more than intelligence and thought concepts that creates the universe itself, what are my thoughts and my ideas doing for my own reality? And that's how you get into your root chakra. You begin to understand that your thoughts create your reality. And if you say, well, why do my thoughts create my reality? Because we know the first law of the universe, we can say because spirit, which is in everything, is intelligence itself. And that is the underlying reality. And so to better improve my reality, I have to make sure I have positive thoughts that are in alignment with whatever I want to create in my experience, right? And so next we move on, or even, hold on, before we move on, let's look at this, because I talk about this a lot in the other videos where I either go over the 7 laws of the universe or the 7 chakras. Mentalism also means that the universe says, okay, boom, I know everything. Well, when we look at man, or we look at the root chakra, that chakra is normally blocked by fear. Well, then I ask myself, well, what is fear? The idea of not knowing. Well, if I take time to kind of know myself and know myself, I have nothing to fear, which means that chakra isn't blocked. Well, the first law of the universe is to know that all is mine, the all-knowing universe. So it kind of begs us to go in deep within and get to know ourselves and ask us the questions, what do I know about myself and the reality that I live in, right? So then we go on to the second law of the universe, which is correspondence. So this is where we saw on that picture, you saw those 2 circles. You had a dark circle and you had a white circle, and it had the line, the dots in between, and it kind of like a ping pong, and they're kind of going back and forth, right? Correspondence enables man to reason intelligently from the known and the unknown, right? We get to see, okay, because the universe said I know everything, now I wanna bounce everything off of each other. I want to have some type of correspondence to see what I know. Is this true or is it not true, right? The universe is saying, I know these things. I know. It's like a librarian who goes to the library and she knows what every book is, but she's never experienced no story in any of those books, right? So the universe says, okay, I'm going to create the law of correspondence so I can begin to experience everything that I know as the spirit, the substantial essence of reality, right? So then how that translates to man is when you get to your sacral chakra, what do you have to do? Everything that you took time to know about yourself, you have to begin to see if that's true or not through experience, through feeling, beginning to interact with the higher and lower vibrations of the knowledge that you just took in, or the knowledge that you just uncovered about yourself, right? And so we begin to see that life is more than just living in your mind and thinking things up in your mind and thinking your reality, but it's also about experiencing that reality, because the universe had to go through the same thing. The universe said I knew everything about myself, but I couldn't really believe everything I knew. I had to test that. And to test that, I really had to experience and put myself in that position and feel my way into a better reality if this is not the one that I want, right? Excuse me, family. So the third law of the universe is going to be vibration, right? And so what we begin to see with vibration is that the difference between any phenomena that we experience, things like matter, energy, and mind, are nothing more than varying degrees of vibration, right? Varying degrees of vibration. And that's where we begin to see like, yo, okay, the universe said, boom, I know what I know, and I've taken the time to feel what I know. Now I want to begin to act. I want to create some type of movement to do something about the knowledge that I've gained and the experience that I've gained from that knowledge, right? And so that begins to manifest in man. That's the core of our being, right? Your solar plexus. When you think about that, it's just like if you wanted to plug in a battery, right? It goes right there in your solar plexus, the core of your being that provides a direct energy channel to the first 2 chakras for them to manifest. So your first 2 chakras kind of do all of the work. It's kind of like all of the back end work. And then all those 2 chakras, is like the 2 prongs on a toaster, and it's plugged into the solar plexus, and that's what gives it the electricity to burn that toast, right? And so that was a good example. My bad. That just wild myself. Going on to the next slide, family. As we continue on, the fourth law of the universe is going to be polarity, right? And when we look at polarity, one of the coolest things that we begin to see in the heart chakra, because the heart chakra is the only part in the body that can neutralize positive and negative energy. It's the only spot in the body that's the midway point between your lower self and your higher self, right? So what we learn about when we look at the law of polarity is that opposites are really only two extremes of the same thing, right? Love and hate. That is the same thing. It is nothing but love, but at a varying degree of love. So we can look at hate as an expression of love, but this is just a very low expression of love, right? But it's still love nonetheless. Or a better example, or a different example, not necessarily better, but a different example could be temperature. Hot and cold are the same thing. They're both temperature. They're the same thing. But I don't think none of us go around saying like hot and cold are, that's like bad. It's like, no, I just have a preference, but hot and cold can't do malice to me. They can't make me feel good or bad. They're just, tools of experience. They're varying degrees of vibration so I can further define myself and what I like and what I don't like. And then that's what we begin to see when the law of polarity is given to man, right? When the law of polarity is given to man, that's when humanity is born. And man is pulled through varying degrees of vibration so you can continue to develop yourself, right? So you experience stuff through your heart chakra, or even when we get to esoteric teachings, it's kind of like it makes sense as to why they say the only way to transcend this reality is through your heart, through forgiveness, through letting go. Because that's the only point in your being that can neutralize negative energy. And that's because that's the only time you truly get to experience such varying degrees of vibration, right? So because we just came from vibration, and let's look at vibration as the rainbow, right? We got red, which is a lower vibrational color, and then it just goes up to the spectrum all the way up into white, to where we can't even perceive it with our eyes, right? When we're in the law of vibration, that color spectrum is open up to us. And then when we come in the heart chakra, we have the ability to go up and down that spectrum, right? Just kind of waving. We can go up and down it and just experience it. And that's how you really refine and get to know yourself. Like, think about this. I mean, we're going to just take two extremes. Get yourself in a high vibration where something is so positive, that shit gets you to questioning like, dang, hey, what do I got going on? This popping. What do I need to do to continue this? Or get yourself to a low vibration when you like, damn, I can't win for losing. You start questioning, what is this? What is going on? Like, what am I putting out? Or what have I been entertaining that's making my reality so hard? You see what I'm saying? So that's why it really brings us into formation as humanity, because we get to refine our experience, right? And so then, boom, we get to the fifth law of the universe with it, which is rhythm, right? The master has learned to use it instead of you being used by it, right? Because now we know that there is a flow and an inflow and an action and a reaction, right? Because through all of the lower chakras, 1 through 3, it's really just about you and you, right? It's just, what do you have going on and how we gonna make this work? The ultimate relationship with self, which teaches us how to have a relationship with other people, which are chakras 5 through 7, right? And so chakras 1 through 3 are about us, right? So let's just say I've been on a train for, 20 years. I've been on this one train, and I've been going through these 3 little, the little connector pieces on the train. I got one train here, and it's a little connector, then another train. And I've been going back and forth through them train little lines, learning about myself. I say, boom, all right, I'm ready to make a shift and start getting other people on my train, or I want to get on other people's train. To do that, you got to stop at the heart chakra train or the polarity train. And then it just takes you through this train, take you on a whirlwind of varying degrees. And it's like, okay, boom, now, look, you didn't experience some things. You didn't really felt some things. Now I'm gonna let you get on. You gotta pass. You can go ahead and get on other people's trains, or you can let them get on your trains. But I'm gonna let you see what it's like to go over there to other people's trains, and what it's like to allow people to come in your trains. And I'm gonna give you the opportunity to balance it. Some people like 80% other people train and only 20% of they train, but they don't they would never know if the universe didn't say, look, become a master of rhythm. You see this inflow and you see this outflow. You see this action and this reaction, right? The universe itself began to attempt to find its own rhythm. Like how do I flow to the left without pulling too much of myself to the right? And that's what the universe began to do. And how that manifests in man is like, okay, boom. The manifestation of balance of all the lower chakras comes to play right here in the throat chakra. It's how can I accurately express everything that I know, that I feel, and that, oh, hold on. All right, cool. It says, when we get to the throat chakra, it says, I'm going to give myself the opportunity to find rhythm on everything that I know, that I feel, that I can do, and that I can do about what I love, because those are going to be all the lower chakras, and that's how we get to rhythm, right? We're going to balance out what we know, what we feel, and what we can do about what we love. And that's what we learn with how to use our voices, setting boundaries, right? What can I get out of setting a boundary, right? How do I learn more about myself by setting a boundary? Or what kind of experience do I have by not setting a boundary? And that's like the ultimate key of the throat chakra. And especially for me, like, yo, I'm thinking I'm creating and I'm knowing everything about myself, but I'm not using those tools that I learned to accurately describe and to tell others, yo, this is the type of reality that I want. And so this is the role that we have to play together. And this is how we work together, whatever the case may be. But mastering your throat chakra gives you the ability to find your own balance and your own rhythm in the reality that you're trying to create. Excuse me, let me get some water, family. And so next, we have the sixth law of the universe, which is cause and effect, which means nothing ever escapes law. Everything is bound by God, by spirit, whatever the case may be, but that is the ultimate reality, which is intelligence. Nothing ever escapes the law of intelligence. Everything happens for a reason. And so when you begin to come to this stage, you begin to understand how you use the higher laws against the lower laws, right? And so how that manifests in the third chakra is you have to realize that there's no more playing victim role. Like, yo, like, oh man, you can no longer be shocked by the shit that happens in your reality, because you know through cause and effect, everything happens for a reason. It ain't no more woe is me. Like, wow, how did this happen in my reality? Shit, I don't know. Think about what you did to create that, whether it's positive or negative, right? Because when we look at cause and effect for the universe, for instance, the all couldn't be the all if something else existed outside of it or before it. Otherwise, we wouldn't call it the all, right? So what would be cause and effect for the all? What would cause the all to exist? It can't be something outside of itself, because it's the all. So we would have to understand that the first cause of the universe is the universe itself. The universe said, I am, and then everything else began to follow afterwards. The same thing goes for our reality. Man's first cause is going to be their intention. Whatever your intention is in your heart, whether it's voluntary or involuntary, whether you know that shit or not, right? Whether you took time to think about what you did before you did it, it don't matter. Your intention always plays a part of your effects, right? So when we want to begin to see past the illusion of the reality, right? Because sometimes we can get trapped in illusions and thinking like, yo, I can't believe this person done this to me. Well, were you living in a false reality and they was doing exactly what they were put there to do, but you couldn't see it because you was looking through life through rose-colored glasses because you couldn't see past the illusion, right? And so to see past illusion, we have to begin to address our own intentions, right? I've had to do this in my own reality. I walk in a room and try to have a conversation, and the conversation didn't go how I wanted. But did you think about what you was planning? What was your intention before you went in there? Did you go in that conversation trying to prove somebody wrong? Or did you go in that conversation to have an open conversation? Like, what did you go in there to do, right? And last but not least, this is one of the coolest ones, I would like to say, one of the coolest laws, because it's probably the most confusing. You can't look at it from surface level, which is going to be the law of gender. When we're looking at the law of gender through the universe, it means to generate. It doesn't mean what it means in this third dimension, which means genitalia. But for the universe, to generate means using all of the laws, because the all is one. right? The universe took its time to make laws 1 through 6 only to tell us everything is but one, right? All 6 laws generate the existence of the 7th law, which is but one law, which is nothing but oneness, right? And so when you get to the crown chakra, that's nothing more that you no longer have to walk around and explain your realities, or, you know, try to convince people to be on the same page with you, or to even convince yourself what you see is real or what you experience is real. It's like, no, I understand that all is one, right? The adepts back in antiquity used to teach the lips of wisdom are closed except but to the ears of understanding. That which you understand, there are no words. There are no words. And so you must be quiet, because that is true wisdom, right? And that's what you begin to see with your crown chakra. I don't have to say nothing, but my presence is felt, right? Man's ability to carry light without restriction is realized in the crown chakra as man becomes one with the all. It is our ability to carry that, the intelligence, which we call spirit, God, you know, whatever the case may be. When we reach the crown chakra, it allows us to interact with a myriad of people and experiences, and do so without restricting light, right? To be pure consciousness. And that's what we get when we look at the crown chakra, family. And so that is the bulk of our work, right? Those are going to be the main concepts that we really want to look at when we look at the 7 laws of the universe and how they relate to man. But we want to begin to make this tangible, right? And so it's like, okay, cool. When we think about tangibility right now in this time frame, everybody wants you to produce something. What job you got? What you doing? Who you doing it for? What do you have? What can you produce? It's always about something tangible. It's always something that has to do with your 5 senses, which is what you can taste, smell, hear, feel, and see, right? Don't nobody want to talk about nothing that got to do with my internal universe. And that's BS. And so what I want to point out to us to make this tangible is that we have 86,400 seconds in a day, right? You see, whoa, that's a big number. Aren't you shocked? I was shocked when I read it. 86,400. That's a lot. And then let's even look at this deeper. Them 86,400 turn into 1,444 minutes, right? So now I got all this math, right? I got all of this time. But what the most priceless thing that I can do with my time is to learn about myself and my creator, which is why learning these laws are so imperative. It's imperative to learn them on a universal level, and then use your newfound awareness to see, like, yo, how does this manifest in my reality, right? And the one way, or one of the ways that we do this is to use this process that I like to call the 3 elements of creation, which pretty much are the first 3 laws of the universe, the first 3 chakras, numbers 1 through 3. When we're looking at supreme mathematics, you can use this formula for about anything and make it relate to anything universal, right? So the first one being knowledge, which is the accumulation of information. Go out and get that knowledge, cuz whether you got to read a book, you listen to my videos, you go to YouTube, you go out you go out and you have tangible experiences, like you go meet with a homeboy or homegirl and y'all talk, whatever the case may be. The accumulation of information that is based on your 5 senses, right? That's number 1. So we're going to base we will continue to work with the process of our 5 senses, right? But we have to take that a step further beyond the 5 senses and take that into wisdom, which is the second element of creation. What wisdom is everything you deduce from the information that you accumulated, right? I grew up or have grown up thinking that wisdom just means I was smart, I was intelligent. No, wisdom is critical thinking. Wisdom is not just spouting back to me what you know or what you read in a book, right? Wisdom is how did what you know or what you read in a book relate in your experience, right? What can you tell me about how that reads as true from you because you actually experienced it? That's what wisdom is, right? So we're going to take the accumulation of information and then we're going to make that information mean something for us, right? And then the third step of creation is going to be understanding. Now I'm going to take that knowledge that I got and then the wisdom that I deduce from that knowledge and paint a brand new picture, right? And if you see my Instagram videos that we've had this on here, this is a triangle, right? And so from understanding, the picture you paint from the accumulation of information and the deduced information. or the wisdom that you deduce from the information, excuse me, right? That's understanding. This is how you make the the 7 laws of the universe tangible. Go to the first law, which is mentalism, right? And take steps 1 through 3 and take it through there. Okay, boom. Give me all the information that I can find on mentalism, right? And these are the 7 Hermetic principles. And what you want to do is read the Kabbalion by the 3 initiates, right? So then you begin to read about the 7 laws of the universe, and there's plenty of information about it, right? So read about the law of mentalism, and then sit back and just chew on that information and start to ask yourself questions. Do I really feel like that consciousness is intelligence? Like, what is gravity? Really, nobody can define gravity. Is gravity invisible because it's God itself? Oh shit. Like, start to ask yourself that. And then you make your own ideas and opinions about the law itself, which is your wisdom, right? So then you was like, yo, if I know that the universe is everything and the universe is everywhere, what picture would I paint? Okay, if I know that, then when I have a conversation with another person and they upset me, I ain't gonna go off on them. You know, I'm gonna calm down because I realize that the universe is in them. And if I'm the universe, I'm inside that person too. So then I begin to behave differently. I begin to desire things differently because I have a different mental conception and different expanded mental capacity for the universe, because I now understand the universe, right? I'm not just in a world walking out here lost. No, I'm aware of the world that I live in, right? So if you take these steps that's on the screen, 1 through 3, and take them to each of the laws, take them to each of the chakras, take them to every opportunity that's presented to you in life, you will be able to transcend the reality because you're using natural steps to change it. You're just not using force. Excuse me. We're naturally taught to use force. If you don't like it, get up and change it. Well, how do I change it? Well, just do something. Well, that's not very helpful, right? And so this is how we make it tangible, family. All right, family. I hope everybody, let me bring y'all back in here. What's going on, y'all? All right. So this class, this lecture was about the 7 laws of the universe. But as I mentioned in the beginning, what essentially I am attempting to do is to provide more in-depth detail on this information. All of the videos that I've done before are typically just an overview, kind of just like this one, but I am ready to get into going into each of the laws individually. And so to do so, I am going to be using Patreon, and I'll release the videos on there weekly. And so what we did today was an introduction. It's going to be a non-class course where I will go over each of the 7 laws of the universe and go over them directly. And the Patreon page is going to go live tomorrow. And what you'll find on the screen is going to be the levels and the memberships that I'll have available. And so you can get it for $5, $10, or $20 a month. They'll all offer something different as far as what you're looking to learn and kind of what you're looking to tap into. But the course is themselves, the non-class course will be available on the Adept tier, and that's going to be the last tier. So pretty much every ebook that I put out or any information, I'm going to be doing step-by-step courses to where you can get the detailed, in-depth information. And so that information will be live for us tomorrow on Patreon. And then that's it. If y'all want to unmute yourselves, you definitely can. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, feel free to let me know. We're going to leave this open right here. What up, cuz? Let me say hey to everybody I didn't get to say hey to. What up, Trinity? What up, Tay? Matter of fact, and let me stop screen sharing real quick so y'all can see my face. Hi. Hold on. Let me unmute y'all. Hold on. Can I unmute y'all? Yeah. As to unmute. I can't hear y'all.
Can you hear me?
I think you gotta go to your little microphone and make sure you tap it.
I did.
Like normally, like a microphone with a slit in it or something.
It's unmuted. Can you hear me?
How I want to? Okay, let me see. Can I? Oh no.
I can hear you.
They allow you to mute people, but they won't let me unmute everybody.
Right.
Allow. Oh, let me allow y'all. Okay. There we go.
All right, peace, sis. How you doing?
Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Peace, sis. How you doing?
I'm good. How about y'all?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Y'all
I
enjoy?
was about to. Yeah, I enjoyed. I wanted to write down the minutes. You know, the seconds. How many seconds it is in a day and all that. That's
86,440 is the seconds.
okay.
And then the minutes are going to be 1,440.
Okay.
Yup. That's both of them right there, y'all.
That's wild.
That's what I said when I looked it up. I said, oh. And I'll be out here thinking, I'd be saying, I don't got time to meditate or I don't got time to do stuff. I got plenty of seconds.
But you know why we say that we don't have time? Because because I think like we so used to, and then when the sun goes down, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we try to do, it's like we try to do everything that we can do all in a day, you know. And I just feel like if we can just stop and just focus on that one thing. I seen an article, this guy, he ended up turning a monk, going monk, and he went there to visit or whatever. And he was like, I have all these dishes. And he had one dish in his hand, but he was looking at all the dishes that was piled up.
Yeah.
And the monk was like, no, you don't. He was like, yes, I do. He's like, no, you don't. You have this one dish in your hand.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I just feel like that's really like what it's about. We just have to like, for that moment, for that, that moment. And we, we can make time for things, you know what I'm saying? Just even if it's like 5 minutes in that moment,
Right. You're right.
I feel like we just try to cram everything in. No, hold on. I feel like we try to crowd everything in. You know what I'm saying? We want to get everything done.
For sure. So look, family, y'all gonna have access to the entire recording. I'm gonna send it to y'all in an email so you'll be able to go back and watch it and then take whatever notes that you need. And then I'll send y'all the information about the Patreon. So if y'all want to continue to take the class, you will have the ability to do so. Cool?
Cool.
Right on, y'all. Well, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna head on out of here and I'm gonna connect with y'all, okay? Connect with y'all soon. I appreciate y'all for coming to the class, man. This is so awesome.
Yep. All right, sis. Love you.
All right, I love y'all. Y'all be safe.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye.